Good evening, everyone. We are excited to have another live interview today. My name is Dr. Akshay Tusu. I am the Social Media Outreach Fellow for the ICD USA section, and today I will be your co-host. Joining me today to interview our amazing guest, Dr. Gayle Cheatwood from California, is our USA ICD USA section president, Dr. Martin herself. Please
Good
use the
evening.
Please use the comment section on our Facebook page to tell us where you are watching from, leave a comment or ask a question. We love hearing from our audience. We will try to answer any and all questions if time permits. I would like to share a little bit more about Dr. Cheatwood's background before we delve into the questions. As I read out Dr. Cheatwood's bio, he will be turning on his mic and video as well, so we get to know Dr. Cheatwood a little bit better. Dr. Cheatwood is a 1975 cum laude graduate from Creighton University Dental School. He has been a member of the Christian Dental Society, CDS, since the early 90s, serving as a past president, a board member for 12 years, and on the advisory board. In 2011, he and his wife, Nita, received the CDS Lifetime Mission Service Award. Dr. Gayle is the founder and president of Dental Vision Mission, a nonprofit organization encouraging the involvement of others in helping the underserved in developing countries with dental, medical, and vision missions. He is also the president of Barnabas, a mission agency serving churches, pastors, and families along the Mexican border. He is a member of two national honor societies, Alpha Sigma Nu and Omicron Kappa Upsilon. Dr. Gayle started serving on mission trips in 1974 while in dental school, and he has participated in over 140 dental trips. In '83, Dr. Gayle and his wife, Nita, began an 18-year pattern of going to Mexico and the prison island of Isla Marias about 4 times a year. They also went to many other countries, some multiple times, like Brazil, Peru, Belize, Colombia, Panama, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Papua New Guinea, Russia, Cuba, India, Sri Lanka, Tibetan borderland, Central African Republic, Uganda, Djibouti, Haiti, Vietnam, Nepal, and the Philippines. Dr. Gayle developed a lightweight corrugated plastic dental chair, which is used by the Christian Dental Society and many other organizations. His chair design protects neck and back of dental professionals from the awkward positions Dr. Gayle had originally used while performing dentistry with patients sitting on stumps, chairs, and tables. Dr. Gayle also developed a lightweight dental operating unit that runs off a 12-volt battery that can be recharged with solar cells, enabling dentistry to be performed in some very extreme environments. Again, Dr. Cheatwood, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can definitely
Okay.
hear you. We can
Well,
see
good
you.
evening. It's glad to be here with you guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure for you to spend some time with us as we get to know your journey in dentistry. So let me start off with the first question. What actually inspired you to become a dentist?
Well, it's not like what you'd think. I wanted to be a wildlife biologist. I was thinking about being a forest ranger. And when I was a senior in college, I went and talked to my advisor, and he told me my grades were good. He said, you need to get a PhD, get a doctorate degree in this field, and you'll be assured of a good job. And I said, how long is that going to take? He said, 4 more years. I said, you got to be kidding me. You know, I was married, already had a little girl. So anyway, I was discouraged, and I was walking to the parking lot and met a fellow biology student who is now a dentist. And he said, hey, I'm going to the administration building to pick up a dental aptitude test application, the DAT. So I went and got it. And when they came through, I took the test, scored well on it. So I applied to 3 dental schools because they're like 20 bucks a piece. And, you know, at $2 an hour then, you know, 20 bucks was like 10 hours worth of work. So I applied applied to three different schools, and I got accepted at all three. So I said, well, I guess the Lord wants me to be a dentist. So, and I never looked back. I mean, it's been really a lot of fun. And so we went to dental school, and when I was a junior in dental school, I met a man who was a missionary from the Central African Republic, and he encouraged me to come out there for the summer. And I said, I'm married. I got a little, well, by then I had two little girls. And I said, we got two little kids, but somebody else in our school was from California, and they said that my wife could follow them back home out to California and spend the summer at her parents' house. So it all worked out. And he gave me some slides, and I went to a few different churches and made a little presentation and raised some money. And I went to the Central African Republic and spent 2 months there. And he had a nice little clinic there, and we would go out on little weekend trips to different villages, and it was just an amazing time. And the only bad thing about it, I got malaria, so that kind of set me back on that trip, but it made me realize what people in these third world countries go through and how much suffering they go through and how they live. And I just looked at that, all, never wanted to go back and not do anything else. So I started my practice, and then we started just little by little, I started going locally into Mexico and different things like that. But before that, when I was in high school, our church started a little mission church across town with Jesse Fiol. He's a Mexican pastor, and he invited me to come and help with that, to play the piano for him and teach Sunday school class. So I did that, and then he started taking me and a few other kids on weekend trips into Mexicali and the ejidos below into the Mexicali Valley. We just play soccer and stuff like that. Then he'd get the kids together, and he'd have like a little Bible study with them. And then we'd go home, and that really, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. But it made me appreciate, even though, we didn't grow up in a very wealthy family, but made me appreciate what I had. I mean, I had shoes, I had a bed, I had things that some of these little kids down there did not have. And it just made me really appreciate how blessed I was to be in this country and to live the life I live. So that's kind of like how I got started.
Dr. Cheatwood, thank you for sharing that. It's heartwarming to hear this type of story and where you started. I'm just curious, though, were you ever influenced to volunteer by any of your faculty at the dental school or anything like that? Or was it just purely the outside of the dental school that you got involved?
It was mostly outside. Matter of fact, the faculty, when I told them I wanted to take the summer off, that summer clinic, they told me that when I went to the dean, and he said I could do it. I went to Creighton University, so it was a Jesuit school, and so they were mission minded, but he told me that he would allow me to finish after my senior year to do the summer clinic after my senior year to get all my credits. Well, after going over there and coming back, I was so motivated. I had 2 chairs going in my senior year, and halfway through, Dr. Bruce Mowat, I picked, you always pick instructors that are the kind of the easier ones on you, but the lines are long. So there's a couple instructors there, the lines were always short. So I just picked them. I knew they were going to be tough on me, but this Dr. Mowat, he just told me after a while, he said, you know what? You're doing great. He said, just grade your own stuff. You don't need to come and get me anymore. And so after that, my grades went up. No, I'm just kidding. But no, he allowed me to do that, and I finished on time. And not only finished on time, I was like number 2 in the class because I was just motivated. I just, that trip that summer really pumped me. I'd encourage all dental students to do that. And that's why the profit from these dental chairs that we make are actually go to help dental students on their first mission trip. Just give them a little scholarship because I know what it meant to have that extra little boost to be able to go.
That's great. And I think that more dental schools now are encouraging their students to do mission type of work. So that you started the wave.
So, yeah. Well, that's great because it means a lot. There's a lot of underserved people throughout the world.
So for the next question, Dr. Cheatwood, could you kind of explain to us how you initially got involved in creating the design for the portable dental unit, the chair, and I believe you would like to at some point show us a little demonstration as well on the unit as well as the chair, and I believe you also have a little device that helps you sterilize you would like to share with us.
Yeah. Anyway, what started this was after we'd done a few mission trips in Mexico and stuff, I had an opportunity to go down to Brazil and actually take a jicreo. Just mainly a freight boat on wasn't the Amazon, it was the Madeira River, which is a tributary to the Amazon. And it's still, that Madeira River is as big as our Mississippi River. And we spent 3 days going down that river boat and to get into the Pitahad tribe. When we got into the Pitahad tribe, their needs weren't that great. And all I was doing was extractions. But coming out, we started working with the river people, the rubber tappers, they call them seringueros. And we were working with these rubber tappers. And actually, they're just families and stuff living along, very poor. And we stopped, and I had people sitting on stumps, and I'd have 3 stumps, and I'd get 3 people numb, and then I would go back to the first person and do the extractions, and another 3 people would come up, and I'd do that. Well, I was doing that, and about halfway through the day, there was a little 12-year-old girl was sitting there, and she had a front tooth, had a big cavity in it, and I said, I'm not going to pull that tooth. Is it bothering you? He said, no. The dad said, no. I said, you need to get it filled. He said, we'll never get it filled. And I know what's going to happen. In a few months, she's going to be in a lot of pain. You've got to take it out. And that really bothered me. So I took it out. But I said, never again. Never again. So I just started working on, I've got to come up with something that you can go anywhere in the world where there's no running water or electricity. That was my parameters. And so I came up with a 12-volt compressor and 12-volt vacuum and solar panels to keep the battery charged up. And it just really worked. And then I met a guy named John Swan. He's has a company called Crystal Mark. They do dental and industrial air abrasion. And he started going on mission trips with me, and he's a very talented guy that can work with machinery. And so he started helping me. And then not only did he do that, but he's developing a portable air abrasion unit that we can use on mission trips. And that has really, we've been experimenting around, and boy, that's when you use an air abrasion unit for a class 5, that you can just bond. You don't have to drill or anything. You just air abrade it, acid etch, bond, and you're good to go. It seems to really be working well. And then Shane Honstein, he's a vice president of Aseptico. He stopped by the Christian Dental Society booth one time, and I had my equipment there, and he was looking at it, got interested in it. So I invited him on a mission trip. So he came a couple of times, brought his daughter. And one of the times their production manager went, and Aseptico has like 130 employees. And he looked at my stuff, and they're really gifted. Anyway, he came up with a small portable dental unit called Go. And it's probably the best dental unit on the market right now, portable. And it uses electric handpiece, so you don't have to use a lot of compressed air in it. And the compressor runs, and we've been using it I was probably one of the first ones that used it. And we've kind of worked the bugs out. I kept sending it back. He sent it back. Anyway, the last trip to Oaxaca, it worked great. We had an oral surgeon with us, and he loved it. So no, it's a neat unit. I'll show it to you. It's this unit right here, and I like the name on it. It says Go, and it's lightweight, and I just put it in the overhead, and I've never had any problems with it, getting it through customs or anything. It just goes through security and stuff. And that's the one I kind of recommend now. That's just like God has put people in my life that or just continue to carry this thing on. And so that's my goal. You know, I'm not in it for the money or anything. I'm just in it to see other people succeed and other people, you know, get, if they're in it for making a living. And I know these companies, they need to make a living. They've got employees and stuff to, and more power to them. I'm all for it. And they've helped me a lot, and I just want to help them in any way I can. Oh, and I'll show you this chair. This. I mean, you can sit on it, but I'll stand on it. It's pretty strong. And it's comfortable. And the box it comes in becomes a container. I mean, that becomes the table. The container becomes the table for the setup. So it works really well along with this portable unit. And the way this started was in high school. I worked in produce a lot. Worked in melons and cabbage and broccoli and stuff. My dad had an ice plant, so we did a lot of that. And I was familiar with the material. And then there was a guy, and I realized they use this material because it's got a silver emulsion in it, and it keeps bacteria down. So it keeps people from getting E. coli and things like that. But in the 1930s, I guess UCLA, the dental students, they had an engineering project, and they came up with the design made out of cardboard. And the students would make these and work with the homeless people, and then they just throw them away. Well, this friend of mine, K.O. Cosby, he started telling me about this corrugated plastic, and I was already familiar with it. So I just made up a little portable dental chair out of a manila folder. I took it to Calpine. I know the guy, Jim England, there, because I've worked around boxes and stuff. And I asked him, hey, Jim, can you make one of these? He said, that's a funny looking box, but we can make it. And he said, you just have to pay for the dies. I said, okay. So I paid for the dies, and we had the first run of 75 made. And then I just sent them all to the Christian Dental Society. And the profits they make from the Christian Dental Society goes to dental students on their first mission trip. Just like we had like a little scholarship fund to help dental students with their first mission trip. And now we're probably getting close to selling over 400 of these through the Christian Dental Society. In each run, I keep tweaking them a little bit, making them much stronger. We even added a little trash can, because everywhere we go, you're always looking for a ball duff for the trash. And so now we've got a little trash can, and then just little things like that. So it's really been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, this is wonderful, Dr. Cheatwood. I've actually used your equipment that you have designed and fabricated, and it works fabulous, I have to say. And the nicest part about it is that it is lightweight. So how much does, say, a chair weigh once it's all folded up and put in its box?
It weighs, the whole thing, like this chair here weighs about, I don't know, 20 pounds. But by the time you get it in the box and everything, you're talking about 25 pounds. And then I have these little stools that I use. And I have mules, so I found these camping stools at Mule Days, and they have a back to them. So, when you're leaning over doing dentistry, it feels so good to kind of go like that and feel that pressure in your lower back. It's really neat, and it sure beats sitting on any other type of chair. And then these stools go inside the box with the chair. So the whole thing with the stools comes out to about 27 pounds. And there's still room in there to max it out to 50 pounds, which is an airline weight. So I pack anesthetics and all kinds of stuff in there with it to get it up all the way up to 50 pounds exactly, because you need all the space you can get on a mission trip.
Well, I'm just so glad that you were creative and a genius at developing that equipment. So thank you for doing all of that.
You're welcome. Oh, and another thing I forgot about, for sterilizing is very important. What we use is a 4-quart Presto stainless steel. It has to be stainless steel because aluminum won't hold up. This 4-quart stainless steel pressure pot, and this ring you take the little top off and you put this ring on it, and that added weight brings up the pressure inside the pot to pretty close to autoclave standards. And I did a little math on it. Instead of 3 minutes, we do 8 minutes. And if you put a cup of water in there, by the time that water steams up, when it starts steaming, you set the timer. When the little top starts jiggling and then making that noise, you set the timer for 8 minutes. And at the end of 8 minutes, when you open it up, the last of the steam is just leaving. So you have dry instruments and they're sterile. And that's really been a boom to keeping things, clean and sterile. And this chair, it's not only lightweight, it's strong, it's durable, has that silver emulsion in it, which prevents bacterial growth. And it's easy to clean with, I use the disc side wipes. And then you can also use soap and water. Sometimes at home, I just spray them off with a hose. You set them up and spray them off real good. Let them set out in the sun a while.
So Dr. Cheatwood, I myself have also used it since down school when I've been volunteering in South Texas and San Antonio. So it's awesome seeing the person who actually designed it and made it possible for us to go in some pretty harsh conditions to do dental work and serve the community. Are these dental chairs available for purchase in case someone wants to go ahead and do their own mission trip?
Well, we've been using them on our trips, but Septico through, Shane Honstein, theirs are available. And they've done an excellent job. I've been trying to get other dental companies and stuff. Well, I had Bell Dental, they were starting to manufacture stuff, but Dan Bell passed away and it was really sad. But anyway, Shane Holstein kind of picked up the torch and, and what's really cool about it is I told them, you got to have a Pelican case. You've got to have something, because even the older Septico units, the task force unit, they'd fall off a table or a bench and the case would fall apart. Even in shipments, sometimes on the airlines, it'd fall apart. But now they've got these nice cases and man, you can just go anywhere. I've packed in on mules before. We've gone on boats. We've trekked with them and went into the Sudoha tribe in Brazil, a 2-day trek just to get to this tribe. And it's just incredible how with a nice strong case, you can accomplish a lot more and not worry about things falling apart when you're there.
So Dr. Cheatwood, could you share with us about your dental vision mission organization that has evolved? The way it evolved, we were going to this prison island, Islas Marias, and some of the prisoners would be working with them, and their glasses, they couldn't see, so they wanted glasses, and I was just getting into my 40s, so I was using reading glasses, and so I would give them my glasses, and they would just light up. So the next time I took like 10 pair of glasses and they went. And then the next time 50 pair of glasses. And now we take around 1,000 pair of glasses on each trip. And we've trained people how to use the lens bar and the focometer. And there's just different ways you can use to check the eyes. And it's just amazing. And it's just neat to see these people, especially older ladies. If they can't read, we'll give some of these older ladies a needle and thread. And when they can thread the needle, and you see that grin on their face, you've got the right pair. And men mending their nets, fish putting their hooks on their line. I mean, you don't realize how much you need your eyes, and everybody gets presbyopia when they start turning 40. So it's just a matter of time where they're gonna have to have some type of reading glass. And we're also doing myopia, distance glasses too. And I get most of my glasses from Restoring Vision. And Restoring Vision is a nonprofit organization that Foster Grant donates their glasses to them. And they use handicapped people and to sort them and get them packaged and everything.
So it's a win-win situation, and they don't charge it. It's less than $1 a pair for glasses. And if you buy a lot, like one time I bought 10,000 pair. So that was a pretty good deal. I got them for like $5,600. But I mean, that's 56 cents a pair. So I don't know, its price has probably gone up now. Everything's gone up, but it's just, if you buy in bulk and you have a vision that you're going to use these, just go for it. And that's how it evolved. And then, we started getting donations and things. So I said, I just told my friends, we need to get together and start a 501c3. And they told me, man, it's going to take like 2 years. Well, there was a guy in our church that did that for a living, and he volunteered and did it at no cost to us. And it was 2 or 3 months, and we had everything we needed. We had the state license, the federal license. It was just amazing how it just went. And it's really grown, and we've been able to help a lot of people through it.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
So Dr. Cheatwood, you go on a lot of mission trips, and a couple of years ago, a little thing, the pandemic happened. So I wanted to just kind of ask you, how has post-pandemic, and I guess since the pandemic started, how has that affected all the mission trip and mission work you and your organization have been doing?
Yeah. Well, we were in Myanmar, November 2019, and we all got sick. We were hacking and coughing, and some of the people were taking hydroxychloroquine and different things like that, and nobody got real ill. And come to find out it was COVID. But we got through it. We just I can tell nobody went, because I have the chairs in my barn, and I drop ship them. When Tina at Christian Dental Society sends me an order, I just ship them from my house here in the little town I live in. And in the last 2 years, I've probably sent out maybe 4 or 5 chairs, and we were doing that every month. And now it just really dropped. Now it's starting to pick up again. But so what I did was, if you can't go to them, have them come to you. So in our town, we have a Turning Point Men's Ministry. It's a drug rehab program, and I've been involved with them for about 20 years. And so I just got this idea. I just put out in the Christian Dental Society that we're going to have a portable mission training school. So every fall, October, November, I just put the letter through the Christian Dental Society and other means, and people come. And we just meet it's only maybe 4, 5, 6 people. And all I ask them to do is just pay their own way, their transportation. And there's a little hotel in town, they can stay there. And then we just work with them in the men's home. Set up, it's almost like I train them in my office here, how to use this equipment. We take a 3-block mission trip to the men's home, and we set up there in the home, in the fellowship hall there they have, and work on the men all day. And it's like a 2-day trip. And I've been able to help people from New Jersey, Oregon, Wisconsin, different places that people come. And it's just been really a neat program. And these people get the needed care. And I'm here in town, so anything that needs follow-up, I'm here to follow up with them. I just have them come down to the office afterwards. But it's a great time to learn, and that's what I've done the last couple of years, is just emphasize training others how to do portable mission dentistry.
Dr. Cheatwood, you are an amazing man. So exciting to talk with you. I'm just curious, how do you decide which countries to actually hold a dental mission trip in? You've been all over the world, so how do you make that decision?
It just happens. I tell you what, I truly believe in God, and it's just a God thing. And people call me up and they will ask me, hey, Doc, can you think you could come and visit our country? Our missionary come through, like Andy Wong came through, and he has Silver Lining Foundation. So we ended up going to China for 3 years. James Zachariah came through. He's from India, and we ended up going to India for 3 or 4 years. And it's just one thing, I don't know, it's just Myanmar. Now we got kind of kicked out of China. Not really kicked out, but being a Christian is difficult in China. So we went over to Myanmar, the same people, but we're in Myanmar now. And they still have the orphanages in China, working with cerebral palsy kids. And now they have an orphanage in Myanmar. There's 200 kids there. And so we've been working with them. And I wish I discovered this years ago, but we started using this SDF. And man, the kids, we did it the first year because it was so overwhelming. There's only like 2 dentists and just overwhelming. So we just put SDF on everybody and just treated the dire need emergencies. The next year we went back and it's like everything had been put on hold and we were able to treat more kids and plus oral hygiene. We really emphasize oral hygiene and diet, things like that. So it's just been amazing. But right now we're mostly well, we haven't gone to Myanmar because they're having problems there too, but the people on the ground, I just got an email the other day that we're welcome to come back in November. Everything's going to be fine. And then we're still going to Oaxaca. And then I've got a trip planned, well, into Romania again. And then another missionary has been asking me to go to Papua New Guinea. And I've been there a few times, but this is a young guy and he's just getting into the tribe and learning the language. And I know him, I've known him for years and as a kid. And so now he's wanting us to come and serve his people. And I said, sure, I'll do that. So no, that's how it happens, little by little.
So I know, like, any chef, when they make, there's a team that goes behind it. So I know there's a team that helps you do what you do. So can you maybe talk about how you recruit individuals to come help you? And one of the individuals who I know kind of helps you, Dr. Fritz in Mexico, is joining us. And I just want to kind of talk about his comment on Facebook. And he's talking about how, he wants to say hi, first of all. And then he also wants to say that Dr. Cheatwood is the most unselfish, generous colleague he has met in his 50-year dental career. He also mentions how you don't profit from your genius inventions, but you just want to share what you have with anyone who has interest in serving. And I think he hits it right on mark there, mentioning about your work and your life in doing the mission work. So how do you recruit individuals like Dr. Fritz?
Well, I think one of the main ways is through the Christian Dental Society. We have a booth in Anaheim and every year. And there's a few thousand dentists probably go through that. It's a huge convention, dental convention. They stop by the booth and I've met a lot of people that way. And then through the Christian Dental Society newsletter, I'll put in an upcoming mission trip in there and I get response from different people. And like the time I put in asking people to go with me to the prison island, I thought nobody's want to do that. I had like 3 dentists call me up almost within a week. Hey, can I go? It was almost like an adventure thing for them. But and it was a beautiful island, and there was like 600 to 800 children on the island at any given time. And so every Christmas we call the love lift. We had these little bags that we put together. Had babies, young boys, young girls, teenage boys, teenage girls. And so we would make these little care package bags for them with like soap and toothbrush and hair combs, and just for different, whatever they were. Like the young teenage boys, they got a baseball cap, and the girls would, I can't remember, they got a brush and some hair stuff, shampoo, things. But I can still remember one little girl with a bar of soap, smelling it and rubbing it on her arm and looking at her mom and saying, "Mom, look, I got my own soap." So that was really, you never know how you're going to touch people's hearts and lives just by simple little things like a bar of soap. So yeah, we just, and another way I'm recruiting is right now. Anybody listening out there, you're welcome to come with us.
That's wonderful. So tell us about your family. I know that they're involved in some way. And so how do they get involved with these missions with you?
Well, for years, we took a lot of youth, high school youth with us. And then my wife, she's been with probably 95% of all my trips. When I went into the jungle, she didn't go that time. And then we went to Sri Lanka. They were having after the tsunami, they were kind of having a little war going on there. So she stayed home then. But most of the time she goes with me. And then my 4 kids, I started them when they were like 10, 11, 12 years old. And they've been on numerous mission trips with me. And my daughter is my hygienist for the last 25 years, but she went on mission trips with me when she was a little girl. And then the picture on the left there, the girl in the purple, that's a granddaughter. Well, her name's Audrey, but we call her Piper. And then the girl in the blue, that's Amelia. She's also known as AJ. She's in the, and then my son-in-law, Brett, is there. And then there were 2 other boys, Elliot and Caleb. They were on the same trip with us, but we had them doing the vitals, checking blood pressures, temperatures, and glucose monitoring. And the little girl, the 10-year-old, she loved poking people's fingers and checking their blood sugar, but you don't do that to her. But no, and they loved it. And you can just feel the bonding among the family members, and you can feel that they know what it's about. They know what Grandpa does now. And it just seems like they appreciate Grandpa more. And Caleb, he did all our sterilization for us. Caleb and Elliot. And on Saturday, John Swan, the guy with Crystal Mark, he took Caleb and Oscar Jr. here. He took these 2 boys fishing in a little ponga. And Caleb loves to fish. And he caught this 80-pound sailfish, probably weighed about as much as Caleb does. About pulled him in the water, but fortunately, the sailfish, when one of the fishing lines, was able to get it in without fighting it for like 45 minutes to an hour. But we had the hotel restaurant fillet and cook that fish up for us that night, and it fed our whole team. We had 53 people, and that fish fed our whole team. So, and it was delicious. So anyway, Caleb wants to go on more mission trips now. Especially if he can go fishing.
You really do teach people how to fish, don't you?
That's right. Exactly. That's what it's all about.
So for like, besides fish, I know there has to be something more that is rewarding when you go on your mission trips. Would you talk about something that is actually the most rewarding thing for you when you go on these mission trips?
Well, the most important thing for me is sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we just draw the crowd with our dental and our eyeglasses, and then we have medical people that come. We've even had a few veterinarians that come. We have people that do haircuts and people that just, but most important, we have a lot of people in there that are just like pastors and preachers, teachers and stuff that just kind of, when we draw the crowd, they're there to work with them and just tell them about God and tell them about God's love. And, compared to eternity, this life's just a blink of an eye. It's only what we do for God that's going to last. And what we do here on this earth is just is minimal. And so I just one word of wisdom I'd like to tell new graduates coming out of dental school is don't put materialistic things first. That shouldn't be the #1 priority in your life. You can always make a decent living with your job as a dentist. I know if worst came to worst, I could trade a chicken for pulling a tooth. I'm not going to starve. I mean, that's something my dad told me. You're not going to starve. You'll always be able to make a living, but you can't make more time. You can make money, but you can't make more time. And I have so many dentists. Well, when I retire, I'm going to go with you. Well, I'm at retirement age. And these friends that said they would go, not going. They don't feel like it. They're tired, they're worn out, so if you're gonna do it now. I mean, just invest your time wisely. There's real joy in serving others. And, I feel God created us to serve. And we're blessed by doing so. You can't outgive God. He blesses you. And it's not just not financial. I'm talking about peace and joy and happiness. and just knowing that you're serving and helping your fellow man and just and giving. And one of my favorite verses is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. They say Solomon was the wisest man that ever lived. And he made this comment. He said, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And that's, so don't wait. Just like this Dillian, it says, just go.
You know, our International College of Dentists Fellows are true humanitarians, and you exhibit such beautiful properties that exude your humanitarianism. And we thank you for all that you do to give back to our fellow man. And that's why our motto is serving others. Just yesterday, we sent a reminder to all of our fellows to remind them about our Ukraine humanitarian fundraiser that's happening right now. And fellows can go on, anyone can go on the ICD USA website and donate. All they need to do is log in. And our deadline is is August the 26th. And so our foundation has a matching program. They're willing to match up to $20,000. So this is a great opportunity for people to give back. And I know that you recently went to Ukraine and served the people over there. And so I'd like to ask you, how can people contact you to donate or possibly even join you on a mission trip?
Well, just have to contact me through our website, Dental Vision Mission, or there's the information right there. That's my cell phone, 760-554-2820. And I live in Hopeville, California. If you put my name in Hopeville, it'll come up. I'm the only dentist in town. So it's a town of about 5,000 people. So I tell everybody I'm the best dentist in town.
Hey, you're not lying. It's true.
Yeah, kind of sounds unethical, but but being the only one, I mean, what can you say?
I love it.
But no, it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll probably go again this fall. So if anybody would like to go, actually we were in Romania, but we were working with Ukrainian refugees. We're right on the border. We're pretty close to Ukraine. And this one group of people that we worked on, they were all from the same church, and they had fled. 70 people had fled and driven like 700 and something miles. It took them, 2 or 3 days to make the trek. They'd stop at night with babies and children, just enough, there's clothes on their back and just enough food to get by. And they got all the way to the border, and they had to wait 40 hours at the border to get processed. And when they get to the other side, they still don't know where they're going, who they're going to meet, or anything. And this Romanian evangelical medical mission, Dr. Peter Lukaciu, his son-in-law, Alex, had been taking supplies over to help these refugees. And he met up with this group that said, follow me. And they came over, and this place was an orphanage. All the orphans had grown up, and they were just getting ready to turn it into an assisted living home. And they just fixed everything up and got all these families arranged, and they're all settled in. So it was just, there you go. It's just another God thing. There's no coincidences. Things it just happens. I mean, it's just a God thing. A lot of people praying, and it just comes to fruition when you put him first in your life.
Very true.
I completely agree. For everyone watching, please share where you're coming, where you are watching us, and any stories you have. I just want to go over a couple of comments. Dr. Cheatwood, from Dr. Keith Suki or Suchi, he says, awesome, what a guy. Can't agree with that. Dr. Fritz again talking about how about service, and kind of agree with them, and he says service is a remedy for burnout syndrome. I know whenever I go for any kind of volunteer work, I'm always re-energized, and my passion for dentistry is like I was first year of dental school all over again. So completely agree there. And Dr. Leighton Weir, also mentioned about you being such an inspiration. And, I agree with that as well. So we do appreciate you spending your time with us. Do you have any other personal quote that you would like to share with us?
No, I can't think of anything right now. Just hang in there. Just keep going. Just go.
Yeah. And one of the
Don't give
quotes
up.
that I like, and I think it kind of goes in tie with your journey, especially with the chair, how you started off. And I know you had a lot of different prototypes to go with. So like one of the
Right.
favorite quotes I have is from author John Sinclair, where he talks about, failure is just a bruise, not a tattoo, which I think kind of is an epitome of always keep going and not let anything slow down. And I think you are a great uh, vision, and with everything you have done, you kind of epitomize that particular code, like just keep going and volunteering for over 50 years, going and doing that. I think it is great. And we do hope, giving this platform, you do find some more individuals to come and volunteer along with you. And we're so happy for you to continue your work around the
Yeah.
world, not just the US, but around the globe. And I think it's awesome of everything that you're doing.
Yep. I do want to thank Ronaldo Fritz too for introducing me to ICD, and you guys are a great bunch of people. And I just hope you can continue up your mission, and I hope you're able to raise some funds for the Ukrainian refugees and that situation over there. It's really sad, and they really appreciate all the help they can get. I know it firsthand. They really do.
Well, thank you so much. I think with that, we will be wrapping up our interview. Dr. Kevin Kelp also says thank you for sharing this. So, again, everyone, if you would like to get in touch with Dr. Cheatwood, we will ensure that we post his contact information. So that way, if you would like to join him or help him in any of his mission trips, I know he would greatly appreciate that. Again, Dr. Cheatwood, thank you for joining us. I know your assistant and your wife, Dr. Nita, is back there, so I want to thank her as well, doing the camera work for us with everything.
Yeah.
So we do appreciate her joining us. She has joined you for everything you have done, so I'm glad she was
That's
able
right.
to join you for this as well. So that
Yeah.
makes a great team.
Yep. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you.
So with that, we end our interview. I want to thank again Dr. Gayle Cheatwood for coming and sharing his story with us. Also, my co-host and our ICD USA section president, Dr. Risa Martin, thank you so much for joining us. Next month, on August 17th, we will be hosting a special memorial interview with Dr. Ross L. Wan to honor his late wife, Dr. Betty R. McCaig, who served as the first ever female president of ICD internationally. Look for our upcoming 2022 interview dates that will be posted on our Facebook page on our USA section website. And you can see that by visiting usa-icd.org. You can just hover on the events tab and click on the events list drop-down link. Recordings of all our interviews are posted on the USA section website under publications tab. We will be having our annual meeting in Houston. The rates for booking for your hotels is open, so we do look forward to seeing many of you there in Houston and in Texas. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight, and we hope you'll have a great day.